Some people say surveys are a complete waste of time, and others claim that you can make hundreds of dollars a day just clicking around. The truth is somewhere in between. And today I'm going to show you what it really looks like to make money with surveys based on years of personal experience and also feedback from thousands of real users from around the world. I'll break down how much you can actually earn, who it's a good fit for, and if you decide it's for you, I'll also share some key tips to help you get the most out of your time and avoid the biggest mistakes many people make. So in case you don't know, my name's Michael and I have tried hundreds of paid service sites over the past 7 and 8 years. And before we dive into the actual numbers about how much you can earn from paid service, there's something really important I want to address, because when it comes to service, there's a lot of noise out there. Some influencers will tell you service are a complete scam and that you should avoid them at all costs, and others go the complete opposite direction and claim you can get rich just by taking a few surveys on your phone. And the reality is that many of them do not even have real experiences with surveys. And the truth is that both of these extremes are wrong. Surveys are not a way to get rich. You won't be quitting your job from this, and you shouldn't expect to make hundreds of dollars per day, but they are a 100% legit way to earn real money online. And in fact, it is one of the easiest and fastest ways to get started, and especially if you're brand new to making money online or just want a simple and easy way to earn a little extra on the side. You just need to do it with the right expectations, and that's exactly what this video is all about. I'll show you what you can realistically earn, how to make the most out of it if you decide it's for you, and what mistakes to avoid so you don't waste your time. So the first important thing we need to talk about is what affects how much you can earn, because this is something many people do not understand and they do not see why this is so important. Because one of the most important things that will affect how much you can earn from paid service is the country you live in. And I see this on my YouTube channel and on my website and on my different other social medias every day, that people say that this is not fair. In some countries they get more service or higher paying surveys than in my country, and that's discrimination. But it's actually has nothing to do with discrimination. It's because the reason we can get paid for taking paid service is that companies are willing to pay to do market research, and there's just some countries that it's more relevant for them to do market research in, and in some countries there is just more market research, and therefore you can earn more often and you can earn more. And if you then think that you can just fake your country by, for example, use a VPN or something like that, then you should not do that. That is fraud. It's basically like stealing. And also service sites know that a lot of people try to commit fraud, so they do have security and different checks before they pay you, so you will likely just end up getting banned and not actually getting paid. And later I will share how you can actually find the best options in your country. But first, let's talk about some other aspects that also affect how much you can earn, because your profile, for example, your age, your job, your income level, all these different things, that all depends, because some surveys are just for certain profiles. Nothing you can really do about that. If you try to lie, again, they have different ways to detect that and you'll just end up getting banned. But it's just something that's important to be aware of, so you know why you might sometimes not qualify. Also, of course, what it will affect how much you can earn is how many sites you join. In my personal opinion and experience, then if you're brand new, starting with, for example, 6 to 8 sites or apps is a great start. It will let you have enough opportunities but not be too overwhelming. And on some days, some sites are better than others, and some sites in general are just better for you than others. That's just how it is. So that's a great start, and then later you can potentially join more. And of course, also what affects your earnings is how much time you spend and how consistent you are. Some people give up as soon as they don't qualify for 1 or 2 surveys. Not qualifying for surveys is a part of taking paid surveys, but people that are consistent, learning from how they qualify so they can see also which type of service, which sites works best for them, and just keep putting in time, they are of course the ones that gets the best results. But let's now go over some of the best practices before we get into some specific numbers about how much you can expect to earn. So some of the best practices is you need to join several sites. I already talked about this because you need to have some to test. Some service sites that just don't really fit your profile, or maybe one day they are not a great fit for you. So you need to have several different sites you can join and test to find the best options for you. Secondly, you need to fill out your profile. They use the profile to match service with you, and also on some service site, they will not even really serve service to you or invite you to service if you don't fill out your profile. On some sites, you will actually get a joining bonus or a bonus by filling it out. So that's something you should consider when you join a service site to do as one of the first things. Then I want to talk about an advice I see all over social media, and that is that people say you should create a new email address you just use to sign up for service sites. But the reality is that many people say this just because it sounds like a good advice, but most people that say this actually don't have real user experiences and haven't actually tried to withdraw, because there are some important details you need to consider about that. It can be a way to, of course, keep everything separate, but if you decide to create a dedicated email just for signing up for service sites, then be aware that there might be an issue when you're trying to withdraw, especially if you use different email from, for example, from your PayPal, because some service sites, they pay out automatically, whether it's a gift card or PayPal or whatever it is, to the email address you signed up with. So then you would at least need to make sure that you connect that extra email address to PayPal. Most people don't tell you that. They just say, oh, just create a new one. But then they actually don't tell you what to do when you need to cash out. And that shows they actually have never really tried to cash out. So this is a very important tip to be aware of. So next tip, best practices here, is to use your phone, because many service sites, even the ones that don't have apps, you can still log in on your phone. And some service you need to get to fast before they fill out, especially the higher paying ones. And it's just super easy and convenient to do it from your phone. You can do it whenever you're waiting in line, having a bit of extra time, and that's a great way to optimize your earnings. And next is, do not give up if you do not qualify. As mentioned earlier, not qualifying for paid service is a part of taking paid service. Eventually we'll figure out what type of service are best for you, which service sites and apps fit best for you, and then you will not waste as much time. But if you just give up when you don't qualify for a survey, then you will never start making money. It is completely normal. Everybody do not qualify sometimes. That's just how it is. And another thing you need to consider is to cash out regularly, especially when you just join a site. You need to make sure that you just test first, that you are sure that it will actually pay you, that there's nothing going on there. And even if it's a site that you use for a long time, sometimes sites do suddenly close down or something like that. And it really is annoying if you, for example, have earned enough to have $100 or something like that, and then the site suddenly closes down. So make sure to cash out regularly. And the last best practice I want to share with you is that you should not believe get rich sites. There are some service sites that claims that you can become rich and you just need to do this and this and that, or even pay. Any site that claims that you can become rich by taking paid service is lying to you. I know I mentioned it before, but I wanted to make it sure to mention it here again because it is so important. But let's now move on and talk actually numbers. So let's talk about the actual numbers, about how much you can earn by taking paid service. It is honestly very hard to give an exact number, and what I will share here with you is of course not a guarantee. So I'm not saying that you can with the guarantee earn this much, but I have tested hundreds of paid service sites. I have had my YouTube channel and my website for 7 or 8 years, and I've talked to thousands of people taking paid service all over the world, and I've helped thousands and thousands of people earn their first money online, and many of them with paid surveys. So I have a lot of knowledge, actually experience and knowledge about this. So if you do follow the advice that I have given in this video here and put in some time and effort, then I will give you some numbers about how much you potentially can earn in different countries. So let's start with so-called tier 1 countries, like for example the US, UK, Canada and Australia. And it is actually realistic to potentially earn $500 to $1,000 per month by taking paid surveys, especially if you also join some of the more specialized service sites and are lucky to qualify for some of those surveys. But I would say $1,000 is definitely the max you should expect, and that will be hard, but it is not impossible. And 500 to 1,000 with enough effort, using the methods I've shared here to optimize, it is actually realistic in some of these countries. In many other countries that will not be so realistic, but for example in European countries, few Asian countries, other countries there are some countries where you can definitely realistically reach, for example, $300 to $600 per month with enough effort. Then you have other countries like, for example, the Philippines or India. Here you should more realistically expect with quite a bit of effort that you can maximum reach $100 to $200. And then there's some countries that just do not have many paid surveys and where it will be very hard to even get to $50 or $100 per month. And if that's the case for you, if you live in a country where there are not a lot of paid surveys, then instead of just feeling sad about it, because I hear people complaining about this often, then just be aware that there's always a way to make money online. Then you just need to focus on other ways to make money online instead. I actually do have a video also where I share methods to earn online without taking paid service. I'll leave a link in the top corner so you can also check that out. And these numbers here, as mentioned, I just want to say it again, it's of course not a guarantee, but it is what the potential in my experience is. And I would also love to hear your experiences, your country, how much time and effort do you put in, and how much do you approximately earn per month. I would love to hear that, so please share that below. So just to sum it all up, paid surveys is definitely a legit way to make money online. You just need to do it with the right expectations, and you need to be careful who you believe, because there's so much noise when it comes to paid surveys. What I shared in this video is based on real experiences after years of testing a lot of different sites and talking to thousands of different people from different parts of the world. And I really hope this video helped you figure out what to expect, so you can find out whether paid service is the right opportunity for you or not. And if you do want to see a list of the best paid service sites in different countries, because as mentioned earlier, finding the right opportunities for your country is the most important aspect to succeed with paid service, then I do have a list on my website of the best sites for different countries. And these are lists that I have manually built out and manually also keep updating when new service sites come up and changes happens and all that. So I'll leave a link to that below, so make sure to check that out. And in general, if you want some extra exclusive daily tips about earning online, not just from paid service, but in general, I also do have a free Telegram group you can check out. I'll also leave a link to that below. But no matter what, I hope this video helped you, and if it did, make sure to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out next time I release a video with tips and tricks about different ways to make money online.